Welcome to Carpo's Corner. Anything I say can and will be used against me in a court of life. The things that we say, words are like daggers stabbing through the hearts of people who can't handle criticism or can't handle the truth, or people who just don't like being disrespected. There's a few different types of harsh words, and I'd like to take a moment to try to divvy them up so I can process them myself, as well as maybe you help out. We've got the types of words that people say to one another that are just intended for harm, the type that are meant for nothing but picking at a person, whether you're picking at the way a person looks, a person's character, one of their faults, something they did in the past, anything you can find to try and suck energy from that person. Then we have the type of words which are not intended to harm, but which do harm, such as disagreeing with someone on something that they think is important, or they want to go to do something with you, and you say, oh, that doesn't sound very fun to me, and those words hurt them, although it was totally unintentional. Then there is the completely ignorant statements that people say, words that are totally tactless and out of place, things that people shouldn't say at the wrong time, Oh yeah, when's your baby due? I'm not pregnant, that kind of stupid stuff. Those are the things that, that kind of has its own place. There's a lot of stupidity and ignorance that goes with that. Then there's the passive-aggressive type. And these are the ones that we see every day, trying to pretend that they're totally cool with the situation. But inside they're all torn up, and they know that if they react with any type of anger or hostility, which they want to, they'll be regarded as immature, or people won't listen. So they try to sound intelligent, they try to sound rational, humorous, they have a lot of cynicism or a lot of sarcasm in their comments or their conversations. You can sense these people when you meet them, when they talk about, everyday subjects. You'll if you meet someone, let's say at work, and they're very cynical about other people and other situations, you can assume they're going to be cynical about you as well. It's just kind of the way people are. I tried my damnedest in life to be as real as I can, and it's led me to some weird times where I think, what exactly is real, and what am I? Who am I? What is my true self? What is my true nature? Is this it? And I present the same side to myself pretty much to everybody that I present, to anybody else, and I try not to cover it up. But at the same time, that there are other selves that we all have, like, say, the persona you put on when you go to get a nice job. You really need that job. Or, you're talking with someone in potential buying a house, or, a bank, or whatever your situation may be. We all have a regular life to deal with, and we can't deny that. So, but, in day-to-day life, just being myself is an essential part of who I am. And when I find myself being irrational or cynical towards people, I at least admit when I'm doing it. I try to, because it's hard for people not to. I've grown up around cynical people, and I find it really easy to crack jokes about just about everything. I try to be down to earth, but at the same time, things are all funny to me. Like, some things are just so ridiculous, I have to say it like it is. And those are those words the other words that the last section I wanted to tackle, that the words that hurt people. The last ones are the words of truth that people don't want to hear. And those are the hardest words to express, because they're words that, if I find out something's, if I'm skeptical about something that I really want to believe in, and I find out that it's probably not true, and I go out and I express that, such as like that video I made about solfeggio, I got a few thumbs down on that right away, because I knew that would happen, because I know that people, they don't want to explain why they have these feelings. They really want to believe in something, and so they They take it personal, as if you're attacking them. It happens all the time with religious folks. When you're attacking a religion, they take it personal as if you're attacking them, which makes sense, because if a person believes in a particular belief and you're calling it bunk, it's only natural they're going to take it personal, because they find belief in that. But it's not always that way. It's the ideas that are attacked often, and then those are the words that hurt the most. It's just like when an atheist attacks a Christian, it can hurt them sometimes, and I don't know what. There are many different other situations, that's just one example, of course. We have, whenever you're speaking something to someone, if it's a family member and they have a major issue and you're trying to tell them how to help themselves, and you think they're asking you for advice, and you don't know how to respond because you don't want to hurt their feelings by speaking the truth. Or you have a friend who you see them suffering and they can't find a woman or they can't find a man, and it's because of some personality thing that they have. Maybe they're too obsessive, or they're looking for someone that's too perfect, which is often the case with a lot of people. They're looking for this perfect mate, and you don't want to tell them, hey, you're not perfect. Nobody's perfect, because you'll hurt their feelings. But it's the truth, and you want to see them succeed. So often truths aren't spoken. These types of truths aren't spoken to hurt anyone's feelings, and they're not spoken to make anyone feel superior. And that's the thing. The main thing is that often these things are spoken because people want to educate others on how they think that they could better themselves. But then people take it personal, and they think that, oh, you're telling me how to live, or you're telling me what you think is right, which often is, true. So in the long run, I guess, to consolidate this all, it would be best to take advice from those we respect, to be wary of those who we don't. Take people's comments and criticisms with a grain of salt, because they don't really mean much unless you respect the person. In which case, if you do, sometimes it's best to listen and see why they're saying the things they are. If a person's hurting you on purpose, it's best to ignore them. They're probably sucking your energy. And if a person is cynical, it's best to, it's fun to respond with a little cynicism in return, but eventually just abandon the conversation altogether, because it always leads to some dispute of intelligence, because everyone wants to be so smart. And we all just dummies. Namaste.